Down Under. Welcome to our 26th episode. Now, straight away, I would like to
address the elephant in the room.
Address the lack of an elephant in the room.
There's no elephant in this room? I thought I was seeing things.
And maybe just explain very quickly why there is only one party member with us today. So, unfortunately, the rest of our party could not be here due to unforeseen circumstances, which is completely fair enough. However, we whipped up a little bit of a fun side quest for you guys, so you guys could still continue the storyline, but learn a little bit more about Cryella along the way. So we will get into that as we go. But first things first, we have officially hit 56 subscribers! Woo! It's only one more subscriber than last time, but that's still exciting!
That's still improvement.
That's still an upward spiral, which I love.
If you're watching, have you subscribed?
If you haven't subscribed, don't forget we do have our giveaway still going on, which we are now a step closer to. And we cannot do the giveaway until we hit 100 subscribers, but once we do, we'll be giving away a dice set, a dice box, and the new 2024 D&D Player's Handbook. So, make sure you're in the running by commenting down below on any of our YouTube videos. Doesn't matter which one, but every comment is an entry. So the more different comments you comment, the more entries you have. Let's see how we go with that. Now, usually we would start our episodes with a little bit of a what do you remember from last episode, or
we were falling.
a little bit of a tell me something about your character, but this time, we're not going to do that. This time, we are going to jump in. Now, I also wanted to just quickly mention the fact that you may have seen our episode recently, which was about improvising and being in character and certain ways you can improvise in moments. To take that to the next level, we decided that this whole session was going to be slightly improvised. So none of this is really planned. No. A lot of it is very much on the cusp. But we decided to give you like a real life example as to how improvisation can be done in a real session of D&D. I know that there's only the two of us, so it's going to be very different if you had like 6 people and you're having to contend with improvising with everyone. However, at least you've got some sort of idea of how it looks.
You've got some reference point.
Yeah. So, that being said, we will start our journey with where the last episode left off, of them appearing in mid-sky, falling down to the ground after a wild time in the dream realm.
Wild.
Hearing a massive squawk from a bird-like creature in the distance. Cryella loses consciousness as the air rushing past her face makes everything go dark. Cryella awakes as a 10-year-old girl. In her bed, the smell of freshly baked morning goodness as a new morning rises, and a memory gets relived. What do you do?
I sit up in bed. I rub my eyes like a 10-year-old girl. Throw back the sheet, excited to get up for another morning. I put on my slippers and trample on downstairs to Mum in the kitchen making breakfast.
She turns around to you as you kind of come downstairs. She turns around and she goes, "Oh, good morning, sweetheart."
Good morning, Mum.
What brings you up so early?
Something about this morning's air feels nice.
She kind of pats you on the head. She goes, "Now, eat up. We've got a big day. We've got to head to the markets today. We've got to pick up some fresh food."
Okay. Where's Dad?
Your father is out for business.
He's
the store required some
He's always working.
Yes, the store required some work. But no to fear. He will be back tonight for dinner.
Fun. Family dinner.
Now, if you would excuse me, I must get ready for the day. And she
Okay,
kind of
Mum.
like warps away outside of the room. What is Kryla's thoughts?
As Mum leaves the room, what's the word? I naively begin eating more of my breakfast, only to stop and realise my brother's not nearby.
Mm-hmm.
I call out to Mum. Mum!
Just a minute, sweetie. I'll be there in a moment.
Okay. I sit there and ponder just a minute longer, just to make sure I haven't forgotten anything specific about where he could be. But I swear he had nothing on today. I keep eating as I wait for Mum to return.
As your mum walks back in, she goes, awesome. So, let's head out.
Mum, where's Mordai?
Mordai?
Yeah, where's my brother? Where's Mordai?
He must have just gotten a bit turned around last night. When he went out with
Did
his
he make it
friends.
home last night?
No,
Oh.
but I'm sure there's nothing to worry.
Silly Mordai.
There is a moment where you do see your mother's face, which when you ask her the question, she has a very brief moment of like, I was hoping you wouldn't ask. And there's a bit of panic, but trying to reassure you that everything's okay. But that reassurance almost sounds like it's for herself, not you.
As a 10-year-old, that's just sort of like sweeping under the rug,
Yeah.
like, okay!
No worries!
Okay!
Um,
Let's go to the market. Hang on, let me go get dressed up, and then we can go to the market.
So, you guys do make your way to outside to the market. As you're walking down the street, you find yourself in a wonderful street-like presence. Now, let me pull up a photo for you so you can see. The photo that's currently on the screen, just for everyone's reference, is actually Waterdeep at night. So, it's a nice little image to get you into the idea of where we are.
But it's daytime in the story.
It's now.
It's just the
why
image
I'm
is not
changing it
on.
now.
The image is nighttime because that's all we hear. And that's fine.
So as you guys make your way down through the town streets and the usual day-to-day life of Waterdeep, you find the city is bustling. It's quite a nice town to live in. The Lord and Commander of Waterdeep, Lord... What's his name?
I don't know.
No. I have lost it. Lord Defiance is his name. That's what it is. So, I'm going to write that down, otherwise I will forget.
I'm also writing that down.
Lord Defiance is actually a really kind and caring man, despite his name. He spent most of his time building the city walls for protection, training guards himself, and actually helping the town become a better place. Where it once was, you heard stories growing up of what Waterdeep used to be like. It used to be quite a small town where, you know, a lot of people lived in poverty and people didn't really have a happy life. He kind of took over power, grew the city into a massive powerhouse as it is today, built a wall around the city, turned it into districts. Like, he's the reason that brought music and song and love and dance and poetry to this town. And it's, you almost walk down the street and almost it seems like a scene from a musical where, like, people are, like, quite literally, like, humming to themselves as they're, like, cleaning the footpaths and wheeling trays of, like, flowers out and, like, waving good morning to you as you're walking past. Like, everyone is very friendly it seems quite peaceful and quiet, and it's just one of those days where you're just like absolutely amazed. You walk down to the markets, and your mum does her usual like shopping, and she goes, "Now, Ayla, don't forget, meet me back here, but feel free to go wander, say hi to the townsfolk,
Okay, mother.
but please return back here."
Okay.
Okay. What do you do?
What's around?
Hmm.
You didn't prepare for that, and I know you didn't, but it's fine. Let's make it up. So if we're near a market, I picture we're near... I feel like there's a park maybe a block or two away.
Mm-hmm.
Either to the west or the east, or maybe the north. Well...
These markets are in like a huge square, right?
I do actually have like a map of where my house would be. Like I mapped this all out. So let me see what's on the map. Hello?
So,
Thank you.
these markets would actually be in one of Waterdeep's massive squares. And there'd be...
Oh my god, that actually works out so well.
Mm-hmm.
If we've walked all that way, there's literally a place called The Market.
That's where I was thinking.
And there's like a really big like field thing right there.
Perfect.
So I feel like if the market specifically is like along here, then maybe... Oh, there's a lot of houses nearby. Not really any parkland. I feel like the markets are in one corner of the market area and the other side is just left like blank because they didn't need all that space. So I've run off to the other side of the market area. So maybe not off to a park. I've just run off to the other side of the market area to go play with like children that are running over there kicking balls or whatever.
So the second that you kind of walk over to go play with the other kids, you notice a very weird shift between the children. Some of them are like, Crayola! And then some others are like, oh, it's the red one. She's back.
I just ignore I glance at the ones that like kind of pick on me and just continue towards the ones that wait for me.
You'll notice that the ones that are picking on you are nobles and noble-borns. There's some humans, there's some elves, and then there's the leader of the pact, which is a white dragonborn girl. And you know her very well as Therona. And she is quite literally the leader of everyone, and she's the reason why, and she's just huffing as you go play with the normal kids that actually like you. Your normal group of friends, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
As you are playing with them, she kind of wanders over and she goes, Crayola. Hi.
Hi, Therona.
What brings you here?
Mum's out doing shopping and brought me with.
How nice. Shopping yourself, I see. Shame.
What do you mean shame?
Doing it yourself?
Mum's doing it.
That's what I meant.
Mum always does shopping. What do you mean?
And then you hear the girls behind her giggling and she goes, tragic. Imagine shopping for yourself. Look, Crayola, we've been thinking, the three of us, and we wanted to know, is the reason you're red because you were burnt in a fire?
I don't know. I've never thought of it like that. I've never been near any fire. I don't know why I'm red. I've just always been this way.
Well, I think it's a bit of a tragic situation to find yourself in because red, you know, is like the devil's sort of thing. So, shame. We don't really want to be seen with demons or fiends in this park. Do you understand?
I guess.
Excellent.
But my friends still like me. Bye, Therona.
As you say that, you actually notice all your friends are kind of like standing like back a little bit from her, and they're kind of just like not saying a word. And she'll be like, fair enough. Get her. And then like the two girls that are behind her grab your arms and they literally start dragging you out of the park. Like,
let go of
fully
me!
kicking. Make your first strength check.
With what?
With
base?
your normal strength. With your normal
With
stats.
the one I have now?
Yep.
Okay. Oh my god. That's not what I wanted to see.
2. So, as they're dragging you, your feet are like kicking the dirt up in the air. And they're just laughing because you're trying so hard to get away and they're just like,
That makes sense.
and Verona's kind of like walking.
Me! Let go!
Verona's kind of walking in front of you and she goes, now, if you ever decide to speak to us like that again, we are nobles. We do not speak like that. As they throw you down an alleyway in between these little houses. And you kind of get like tumbled a little bit. Your head hits some cobblestones. You start bleeding a little bit. You get smash bang into a puddle and get covered in dirt from head to toe.
Oh.
And your dress that you're wearing is like covered in mud. As you look up and you see the legs of a red tiefling laying around the corner, you see these legs
I
laying
crawl
around.
towards them.
The closer you get, the more you're realizing that it's your brother.
Mordai! What? Mordai.
As you get really close, you actually notice at this point he is dead on the ground and has been for quite a while. He's got a knife smack bang in his heart, and he is clutching at a piece of fabric on the ground.
Naively, I grab his shoulders and try to like wake him up because I don't notice the knife at first. I don't notice that he's like not moving. I don't notice that he's holding cloth. I just grab his shoulder as if like he's asleep or like had like a drunken stupor and fell asleep on the sidewalk or something.
You'll actually notice the body's very cold, and
Mordai!
there's blood everywhere
Wake up!
surrounding him.
I notice the knife. And I go, but somebody help!
You kind of look down the alleyway and you notice that everyone's just rushing past, no one's really even taking notice, and it almost feels like a scene from a movie where you're screaming but no one can hear you. And
I begin to cry, but then I notice the cloth.
so the cloth it looks like it's been torn, and it just has the initials SG on it. And the knife itself looks like it's from a noble type family. With this knife and this cloth, you don't really know who any of this is connected to or why. There is a brief moment where you kind of get a spark of like feeling of like warmth on the inside of you, and it almost feels like there's this sense of like you really wanted to try and heal him. There was nothing really that you could do, so you've actually seen your mother, with her being a very much medicine user and very good with like herbs and stuff like that. You do have a quick scan around to see if there's anything you can use, but there's nothing of great value you could grab. And you kind of, like, I would picture you maybe laying down next to your brother, just for a moment, as you're crying and as you have a sense of like confusion and sadness and everything. You do feel like maybe something should be done about this, and you feel like you want to get to the bottom of what's happened.
I lay for a while and cry. my little heart out, my little red heart out. And I realize I shouldn't lay here all day. There must be something done about his passing. And then I remember my mother told me to be back in time. So I get up, I take the cloth with me, I leave the knife and obviously more dye, I can't carry it, I'm a 10-year-old. I take the cloth with me and I run off to Mum, crying, and I find Mum back at the market.
So, as you run back to the market, you actually see your mum as she's talking to some sort of merchant.
Mm-hmm.
And you actually run up to her and you start crying and telling her what you found as she turns around back to you and she's bawling her eyes out already. And you see the merchant as he's like, he has his head down and he goes... And it's not until this moment when you realise this merchant's selling knives, daggers, swords, everything with the about, and there's one dagger that's missing off of his rack, which is exactly... And if you look at the other daggers that are around,
It's similar.
It's a similar style dagger. And he just goes, I'm very sorry for your loss.
I just stand there crying, like, what else is a 10-year-old to do?
Look, if the merchant just says, you actually do hear this because you're sending, the merchant says to your mother, look, if there's anything that we can do for you, I won't tell my boss, but I do think, I feel like we should help our own, even though Scythen
What
may
does
not.
he look like?
He's just a human person, he's just a vendor. And he's talking and he goes, even though my boss, Scythen, doesn't really do much charity, I might, under the rug, do this for you. Since we've known each other for a while, Posy. And she's just crying. He just kind of like reaches forward and pats her on the back and goes, I am really sorry. As your vision starts to fade to black again. Now, what you start to feel is almost like a rush and a pull forward. And your eyes flitter for a moment and light starts to come in. What you notice is it's cold, it's the middle of winter, so there's a lot of like snow and frost everywhere. You're kind of rugged up a little bit. And you're like mid-conversation. Yeah, you're mid-conversation with vendors in a tavern. Like you're in a tavern specifically, and you're at the bar talking to the guy. The guy starts the conversation by being like, "Look, I don't want any trouble."
I know you don't want any trouble. I'm just looking for something or someone to guide me. Do you know anything?
He's just wiping down the table. He goes, I have already told you. Look, I apologize. I think it's tragic what happened to you and your family, but I have nothing to offer you.
Have you met any clerics before? Maybe I could talk to any of them that you've met.
If there were clerics in this town, do you think that everyone would be starting to really start to fear what the future of this town has?
I suppose not. Sorry, thank you for your time.
Look, Cryella, wait.
I look back at him. I was ready to walk away, but I look back at him.
I am sorry for what happened.
Thank you.
Here. He gives you a book. He goes, I don't have much, but look, this might help you. That symbol on the front of the book is the international symbol of a cleric. That is the only thing that I really have. If there are clerics in this town, then they are very secretive and are not known widely to the population.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm sorry for giving you such a hard time. I want to get to the bottom of this.
I understand.
Thank you for your time. Have a good day. I'll see you around.
Welcome. And then you kind of like, as you go to leave though, make a perception check.
One moment. Book with... Alright. I'm gonna roll this instead of using my natural, because my standard, because it's more fun! Ooh! Ooh, okay. Perception. I rolled a 22.
Ooh! Alright.
17 on the roll,
So,
plus 5 on the perception.
just so you're aware, the tavern that you're in is the Yearning Portal. That is the main tavern in Waterdeep. It is a very common waylaid tower where the big...
Do I know the name of that tavern owner?
The name of the tavern owner, you would.
Even if we have to make it up on the spot, doesn't matter.
The tavern owner you weren't speaking to. Are you talking about the person who?
Oh yeah, the guy.
That was just a bar owner who's
okay.
quite high up. The tavern owner though. Do you want the tavern owner?
Well, both. Yeah. Ah.
I need to find it. I do have it written down somewhere.
I love how you already have these notes.
Oh yeah, because as things get fleshed out, I just slowly flesh out. Durnan.
How do I spell that?
Durnan. Durnan.
And he's the tavern owner?
He's the tavern owner, yeah. So this is the tavern that most people come to as they pass through Waterdeep. It's the very common one. Now, as you go to leave the tavern, what you will notice is there is a figure who is staring directly at you in the corner of the room, who kind of has this weird glow about them. It's almost like it catches your eye very glintly, and he's kind of turning his head. You do notice him.
He's doing like these ones?
Yeah, he's looking at you like this. You do notice him.
Okay.
Do you stop and look at him?
How far away?
Like corner of the room.
Okay, so I'm like walking towards the exit,
Yeah,
and
you're
he's in
walking
like
to the exit. He's in the corner of the room.
Okay. I stop for a moment and squint my eyes at him, like.
Almost like he is literally right next to you. You hear, "Come closer, my child." As if he's like whispering it directly into your ear.
With that, my mind says to run. Well, my heart and instinct say to run, but something compels me and I just start walking towards him. Slowly.
Yep. As you walk, he goes, "Take a seat."
I just sit without thinking, like autopilot.
I see you've got our book.
Your book? This is your book?
It's Heart of Us.
Who's us? Sorry, who are you? You didn't have a name. You're
I was literally like, hang on a moment. I was doing that like myself.
And immediately was like, his name is Halloween. I'm like, wait, we already had that.
His name is Halloween.
His name is Harry. I don't know.
His name is Harry Potter.
No.
It's not Harry Potter.
I know. For joke's sake, that's it's not Harry Potter. It's Harold Thornberry.
So.
Also a joke. Unless we need a name. In which case it's Harold Thornberry. I like that name, Harold Thornberry.
The name is Alican.
Ooh, I like that name.
He goes, name's Alican.
I'm Craella. In the same sort of tone he said to me.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. So,
I've been expecting you.
You've been expecting me? Are you a psychic, a mystic, a medium?
You actually see as he's talking very freely, he goes, us clerics are quite hidden.
You're a cleric.
We have heard that you have been seeking out a way of the cleric nature.
I get excited and I just scoot a little closer to the table and like, tell me everything. If you please.
So clerics, we just needed to make sure that if you were to become one of us, you would actually be able to handle the power.
Fair enough. What can you teach me?
Your first lesson. Eagerness is not a way of a cleric.
Damn it. Failed my first lesson.
Being patient. Standing back. Waiting.
Okay.
Finding an alternative path.
I think I could do that.
Remember, we channel our power through the gods. Once you find out your god, once we find out who your god is, you will actually find your power.
Okay. Failed my first test. Yet you're already giving me a second lesson. I can't keep up these days.
As clerics, we learn to ask the questions that nobody else is asking. For starters, why I'm talking so shrilly and nobody can hear me. And he turns to the person who's sitting at the table, like, as in, right next to you. He goes, like you, sir. And the guy doesn't even blink. He's still talking to the person in front of him.
I glance at that guy. I'm like, he didn't even move.
He looks at you and goes,
Sorry,
What?
I thought I had. Sorry, sir. Enjoy your lunch, dinner, whatever time it is.
Okay.
Sorry.
And then the cleric guy, Alaric, just goes, they can hear you, but they can't hear me.
I figured that.
How do you feel like us clerics have gone under the radar for so long in this town?
Your magic. How
Yes.
did you do that?
There's a lot of things we can do. It depends. Are you worthy enough?
Honestly, I don't know. I think that's all I can say at this point. I will need to learn the way of the... Well, not need. I want to learn the way of the cleric. And I suppose the first step and order of practice is patience.
As a cleric, you need to learn that we are healers. Our job, or our role, is to protect and heal the injured. We may not be the first to ride off into battle. We may be the ones to stand back and wait and observe the situation before attacking. But know this, we are powerful. Find me. Find me tomorrow morning and prove your worthiness. If you can find me, given what you already have, our lessons will commence.
Does this mean I get to keep the book?
What?
Does this mean I get to keep the book?
I would strongly recommend it.
Thank you!
And he vanishes in a of light.
Whoa.
As you're like, whoa, the guy next to you is like,
I just glance at him, I'm like, sorry.
no, that's fine.
I haven't
And
had
then he
much
like
sleep.
whispers to his friend and goes, are all tieflings like that?
I haven't had much sleep lately. I'm sorry.
And the guy's just like, ugh. That he's talking to. As you look at the book, it is a weird, a weird collection of things on specifically a god called. It's like specifically on clerics and kind of like what they do and like how their connections with their god is. As you're holding the book, you do notice that it sparks a little bit, and almost like the cover changes slightly. And there is a moment where make an Arcana check.
Ooh. This dice has been good to me so far. I'm not using this one yet. Arcana?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know it. 12.
Mm-hmm. You are able to determine that this book has magical properties that change it actually changes what the book is depending on your needs. So you notice that now that you've been exposed to it, the book actually changed slightly to be more cleric specific. Whereas
So before it was like a brown covered notebook with a cleric
very
symbol
much
on
so,
it,
and now
it's
very,
changed to
like a leather clasped like book
Ooh.
with like gold trimmings, and it's like almost like the secret ways of the cleric.
That's fun.
So it's like a book that changes what
Based
is
off of
in
what's
it
needed.
based on your needs.
That's fun.
As you are staring at the book, you have a moment of your vision going to blackness and appearing the next day.
Clutching that book against my chest, walking through town
Looking around
for Mr. whatever is Alkin.
Alakan, which means keeper of the sacred scriptures.
That's cool.
You walk around town. You use the book, and as you're walking around, nothing's really happening. And there is a brief moment where you kind of like turn around on the spot, and there's a very small, faint warmness feeling that you felt once before when you were laying next to your brother. And it kind of drew you into one direction.
Okay, I walk towards wherever that's guiding me.
As you kind of start walking through the streets that are busy, your memories of this town as you're walking through, there's still like people quite literally happily jumping around, doing their thing, wheeling out their carts, they're waving at people. However, as you're walking past, you're noticing half of them are waving to you, the other half are just kind of like pretending you're not there. And you kind of start getting to a part of the town that, since your brother's passing, has almost long since been abandoned, almost. Like, it's very quiet. There's houses, people still live here, but it's not as bustling and busy as the rest of the city. And you go down an alleyway, and the alleyway kind of keeps going to just a completely plain brick wall.
Okay.
And the feeling kind of is quite strong at this point. But there's nothing there.
So I'm standing in front of a brick wall in an alleyway.
Yeah.
With one hand I reach out and I touch the brick wall.
Your hand passes straight through the brick wall. The book actually starts to glow a little bit as your hand passes through.
I bring my hand back.
Mm-hmm.
Does the book stop going?
It's glowing less faint. It's glowing less than it was before, but it's still glowing.
I hold the book to the wall.
The book passes directly through the wall, and you no longer can see it.
I walk forward with my arms out.
Okay, as you walk through the wall, you kind of get to a point where, as you walk in, you see this huge room with people as they're all like sitting back. They're all like, you can smell herbs and medicine, and you can smell what smells like fire and light and food and cookies and all
It smells
of this.
like home.
It smells very much of home. And you have someone who's like leaning up against the barrier who you recognize as Alaric. He goes,
I'm holding up my books.
you're just like, huh?
Yeah.
He goes, welcome.
Hi.
Welcome.
That's a wall.
Yeah,
Well,
you found it. Most people don't find the alleyway, let alone the wall.
huh.
Only those that are chosen find their way here. Welcome to home, as we like to call it.
It feels like home. Where are we? Other than home? Well, I
This
don't
is-
do that because I'm holding a book, but but I imply that it's like in like quotation marks.
This is the jewel of the city.
Jewel it is. It's very
Or like
pretty
we
and
like to call
warm.
it, a cleric training facility.
Huh. I like that.
So, before we begin, my first question,
Mm-hmm.
to go any further, why should you be a cleric?
Do you want the long story or the short story?
The story your heart says to say.
I think we should sit. Would you like to sit?
Absolutely. And he just raises his hand and chairs just appear and you both sit.
How did you do that?
I'm a
I need to
master
stop
cleric.
asking questions.
I'm a master cleric. I can do a lot.
A lot indeed. Okay. Let me tell you a story. When I was 10, I went out shopping for a day with my mum. She was off in the markets shopping, doing her daily thing. Well, at this point it was daily. And the night before, my brother hadn't come home. I then, as my mum was shopping, got picked on by some girls and got pushed in an alley. When I was pushed in the alley, I found a set of legs that led to my brother's body. I was so grief-struck that I couldn't do anything. I ran back to Mum, told her the story, found the guy responsible for selling the weapon that may have killed him, and since then have vouched to find the person and heal others that I care about since. That leads me to today. Other than your quest the other day.
You will fit very nicely here.
Oh, good.
We all have a bit of a, let's say, rocky past with
I'm-
Scythen.
Then let me reach out my condolences of reaching out and saying sorry for your rocky past. No matter
You're
what
gonna
you've
fit
got.
nicely here. Come on, let's go. As you walk down the stairs, you notice that there are like, so it's like there's like a landing, and then there's like a
Yeah, I get it, but I feel like
into a
I feel like
huge
he's just
area.
like I feel like I'm just like being teleported by this guy. And I'm like stairs suddenly.
Well-
Suddenly stairs. What about the table?
And then as you walk down, you notice that there are people who are quite literally like trying to like cry. There's like people like meditating. There's people who are clutching their symbols. There are people who are like trying to build like balls of light and energy. There are people who are like training with like maces. And he goes, "This will be your home,
Clutching the book.
but you shall not tell anyone where this place
So
is.
cool. I wouldn't tell anyone. This shouldn't be shared.
Your vow is to keep this protected from the closest of allies that you find.
I swear I
Some-
will keep this place secret.
Something tells me that you have a very strong destiny."
I swear you're a psychic.
Let's go. And as you guys walk through the training facility, your vision starts to fade back to black. So as your eyes kind of readjust to what is going to be happening now, you're in the middle of a fight. Like your eyes kind of readjust as a big ball of light comes flying at your head as you duck, and you just look back up and you're like sweating. You've got like a mace in your hand, and then you see someone who's like running at you with another mace, and he goes boom, and he like attacks you, but you kind of stop him with his mace, and he goes, "As a cleric, we stand back, remember?" and he just keeps trying to attack you.
Then why are you hitting me?
Because you still need to learn to fight. People don't always stand back themselves. They come after you. So you do keep managing to block it for a while, and he
It's one of
kind of
those cool
stands
like
back
training
and goes,
montages.
he goes, you still have not learnt the ways of a cleric. It's been 9 years, Crayola. What's holding you back?
I don't know.
Let's take a break. He throws his mace to the ground and goes, everybody, take 5. And they all kind of stop fighting, and they, you see this like elven woman who's like,
As that all happens, I collapse down to my knees like a defeated soldier sort of thing.
Mm.
I fall down to my knees, just catching my breath.
He walks over and goes, Crayola, you haven't fully healed yourself. How do you expect to heal others when you yourself is not fully healed?
I don't know.
Look,
Just don't know.
have you even thought? Have you even had a sign from any of the gods?
No.
Look, it's hard, I know. Don't get me wrong. I've lost my entire family, remember? My wife, my kids, everything. That's what made me the cleric I am today. But it wasn't until I was completely healed and I had let go of my pain and my understanding that it wasn't my fault. There's nothing I could have done. Crayola, there's nothing you could have done. It is not your fault. I will leave you. Take a moment. Have some thoughts. I'll prepare the wine as he walks off.
The wine. Hello. I'll prepare the wine.
As you're sitting there, like the kind of like the courtyard thing you're in, it's like a indoors.
I can
arena
picture it. It's
area.
kind of like a dojo.
And there's like a fireplace.
Yeah,
there's
I
like
can
pillars everywhere.
fully picture
You're very, it almost looks like a Japanese temple. Style.
Yeah, I'm picturing like a Japanese dojo,
Yeah.
karate fighting center sort of thing.
Very much that.
Picturing
As
it
like-
fully.
Like what is it? Like training pillars and everything like that. There's so
Yeah,
much.
I get it.
The area kind of
There's some
starts to
like there's
go
some
away.
like fake dummies over off the thing made of straw.
in the roof as well. It's like a glass roof, and the moonlight's coming in from above.
Pretty.
You're kind of sitting there. It's a full moon, and you're just kneeling, and you just like kind of look up for a moment, and you just. There is a voice that rings through your head, and it's your brother's voice, and he goes, "Crayola, it's time to let me go. I'll be with you always, but you cannot hang on to the past."
You're right. As a tear falls.
With that tear, it feels almost as if the pain and guilt that has been holding you back comes out of your body with the tear and flows down your cheek as it hits the book that you've carried around for the 9 years, as it hits and hits the cover, and you start to kind of sob a little bit as the tears keep hitting the book. Then there is a brief moment of almost like a song that fills the air as you look down at the book, as it starts to wisp and like gold flakes start to peel off the book and turn into, this book becomes the story and legacy of Malil, which is a name you've never really heard before.
That's a weird name.
That's a weird name.
That's weird. That's suspicious.
The clasp on the book as well opens up on itself. like it opens on its own. The book starts to kind of hum with this low beat feeling to it as your tears that are on the top of the book actually get soaked in and kind of become one and the same.
Is the song anything in particular? Or is it just like
It's
humming?
just this like almost harp style violin low resin hum of like peace and serenity.
Okay, I open it up.
So you open up the book. You literally just grab one of the random pages and you just open the book. The whole book is in a completely different language except for one tiny little passage. And as you start to read it, you notice that the actual passage starts to say, the one and only mantra that should be read by those who is a true follower and connected to the chosen. And it actually reads, once divine, now fallen from grace. It's time now to start this mystical embrace. Allow the power to start and flow through these hands of metal now glow. The rest of it's in Elvish, so you actually can't read a lot of it. But as you are reading it, it's something that really sticks to you, and that actual mantra that it says rings and pulses, turns into a rhythm and a beat as it flows through your head on repeat. And it just keeps going and going, and then there's a build of energy inside you as you, from the bottom of your feet and your toes, they light with fire almost, as your entire body feels like it's being engulfed in flame, and you start to like brush it off because you are like completely freaking out to see what's happening. Your entire
I freak
body
out over the
feels
flames,
hot.
but I don't feel like it hurts.
It doesn't hurt, but it feels really hot and warm. It almost feels like you're stepping into a nice bath, but you're actually feeling it, and you're like, and you
But
can
there's, like, flames
see
and
the
stuff, so,
light
like,
and
yeah, I get
flames
it.
lapping up your body as it kind of engulfs your entire head. There is a brief moment where your chest feels really heavy, and out from your chest this beam of light bursts, and it almost looks like this light energy is coming out of your mouth and your eyes and your chest and your hands and your feet. You start to levitate off the ground a little bit as the entire energy surges through your body, and you're hearing the words on repeat, lapping your mind. As you float back down, you actually lap a ball of light in your hands for the first time, as your mentor comes back around the corner, and you notice how he's standing there and goes,
I'm just looking at it.
he goes, congratulations, Crayola. Your first successful spell.
Is this a spell? It feels so warm.
It is what spells do. I'm proud. With more training, you could be just as good as me.
That'd be cool.
Took me a long time to get to where I am. Lots of suffering and lots of heartache. Something tells me, though, that you were destined for a lot more than I think you realize.
There you are with that mystic stuff again. It was so cool.
Have you ever heard of... No. Look, it's probably nothing, but... There's a saying. As he goes to continue his voice, you hear a... And he turns and looks at the wall, and you can see the bricks as they're like being pushed in, even though like it's a magical door. And he goes, "Quick, Crayola, hide! I don't care where, hide!" And he
I run into like a
pushes
back
you.
room.
There's like, so as you are looking for a place to hide, there's a pillar, and then you actually notice that there's a crack in a wall off to the side that's big enough for you to shimmy in between, and you could literally just shimmy into the crack and like hide, but it's only big enough for one person. As he kind of looks at it, he goes, "Take it. We'll be fine."
Are you sure?
And then you hear as he just starts to like, this low resin hum appears from him, and you see this like necklace that falls out, and it's a symbol of Malil, and he starts to hum and call and start to like bring in a voice, and everyone starts running in, and you see all these clerics as they start to like light their maces on fire and their swords, and they start to build balls of energy, and goes,
As he's doing that, I grab my book and I shimmy into the game.
you actually left the book behind
Why?
in the middle of the room. You dropped it on the floor as you went. So,
Oh, poor book.
and you do actually see it down there, and you go, oh no, the book. And he looks down at it, looks at you and goes, as if to
Not
be
worth
like,
it.
don't come out.
Okay.
And then the bricks fall in as this entire sea of guards that you can see on the other side as they all start to filter in. And they literally filter in, and there's this two lines, one line of guards with shields and like war hammers, swords, bow and arrows, and a whole line of clerics. Your mentor is right in front as he is like, so what do we owe the pleasure of this meeting? As the guards kind of part, you see Scythen as he walks down. You have never seen Scythen before though, so you don't know it's him.
Do I know his name at this point? So if his name is said...
You would know the name Scythen, but you would never have actually gone into depth.
So I just know, like, on a name, like, first name basis.
You
I don't know anything about him.
probably would never have connected the dots. So you would have seen SG, the actual merchant that your mother was speaking to said Scythen, but you probably weren't even paying attention.
So I see
Mum
SG
really
on
hasn't
okay.
spoken about it.
So I see SG on the cloth. I remember SG, but I don't know what it's connected to.
Correct.
I hear Scythen, I'm like, okay, Scythen.
So he walks down
Whatever.
the stairs. You actually haven't heard his name, so you just know he's a white dragonborn.
Yeah, but I'm just, like, this is why I'm, like, bringing it up. Like, would
Yeah.
I know his name if it was said? This is why I wanted to know in case of reaction-wise.
So you walk down. He walks down the stairs, and he kind of stands in front of his guards. He goes, finally. It's about time. You guys are hard to find. Welcome. Can I ask a question while I'm here? A little birdie told me that you've been harboring fugitives, and your mentor's like, fugitives? We don't harbor fugitives here. This is a place of worship, a place of peace and serenity. Why would we harbor fugitives? He goes, well, you see, there's people who have stolen things from me, and I'm trying to hunt down who those people are. You couldn't tell me that, could you, my good friend? He goes, I'm not a friend of yours. You have done nothing but terrorize this city since the moment we all arrived. And do you really think that's going to get you a popular vote? Or a popularity win in amongst us people? He goes, I don't need to think, because it's already working. This town, I have slowly but surely started to buy bit by bit and become part of it to a point where they can't get rid of me. I'm set to be the advisor for the king. We all know that. And he goes, and your mentor goes, advisor for the king? Ah, you mean the Lord? He goes, King, Lord. One day very soon, the title of Lord might mean king. And he goes, your mentor goes, what makes you want to be advisor to the Lord in the first place? And you see Scythen as he goes, well, let's just say advisor isn't where my sights are all set. Lord Defiance, he's a good man, but he's starting to get quite old. And, well, old means that he doesn't have long left of his reign. And the mentor goes, I wouldn't be so sure of that. He may be old, but he is extremely healthy. And besides, the throne will go down to his kids anyway. And you see Scythian goes, maybe. Unless the advisor advises for a voting system of some sort. It'd be strange, to have a town where you don't necessarily become the leader just because your family was. But maybe a certain advisor could become the leader after. And your mentor kind of goes, so you want to become Lord of Waterdeep? Why? Well, Scythian kind of goes, well, let's just say I have some plans. Some big plans. They involve a lot of people. And I have recently met someone who may be able to help me with that. It's been a long and slow process to get to this point. But I've managed. But let's just say in my new town that I'm building, we don't have a need for clerics. And then your mentor kind of goes, but there's always a need for clerics. You will never get rid of a cleric. You can't. He goes, can't I? And then he goes, let me show you. And a guard pulls out a necklace. And he grabs the necklace and puts it on. And goes, do you know what this is? And it's a green skull. Like it's a green jade skull. He goes, this is my power. My power. That somebody I know is really looking forward to getting their hands on. But at the moment it's just a skull. Until it's activated, that is. And then you hear him say something in Draconic, because he's a white dragonborn, and the actual skull glows green for a moment, and it just, every single one of your cleric friends that you got to know, your mentor, everyone,
like
they start... And then you actually see as black smoke starts to come out of all of their mouths as he's like, and all of the black smoke rises as it's all coming out of them and starts to get sucked into this green jeweled necklace. He goes, yes, give the god what he wants, and I shall get the power I deserve. And you actually see as the necklace starts to glow brighter and brighter as people start dropping and dying right in front of you. And you kind of, like, for a moment, you have to, like, hold your voice, otherwise you're going to be seen. And then there's a moment where your mentor, where your mentor just kind of looks over at you, and Scythan's like, ha ha ha, and he looks down, he sees the book, and goes, ooh, more magic. And he picks up the book, and he grabs it, and you see it as your mentor is just like, and he waves his hand as the last thing you see, as your vision fades to black, as you get pulled out of the area you're in, is your mentor dropping to the ground dead as Scythan's laughing with this green glowing necklace on. As you appear outside, as your vision starts to fade to black. Back in on your last trip down memory lane, you walk through the town gates. As you start to make your way home, the town starts to feel, for you, it's just been a gradual change, but the things that you're noticing straight away that's different is that the town feels cold, dark, and lifeless. people who once waved to you in the streets now come out coughing as like smoke, and like flowers don't really grow anymore. People are afraid to do anything without permission anymore. You walk kind of past
Like
the
industrious
markets
and suppressed.
where like most markets have been taken over and run, and it's almost like a military operation. People come in, get what's rationed to them, and leave.
Oh my god.
And you hear as you're walking through the streets, you actually hear as people start like coughing and they're talking. They're like, "Have you heard? Lord Defiance, he doesn't have long left. Apparently someone went to see him and he could barely speak. Apparently he coughs up blood every day. Doesn't move anymore. And the advisor is essentially taking over." As you're walking through the streets, you actually see all of these like hand-drawn signs where it's like, "Vote Scythen, vote Scythen, vote Scythen. Scythen will save us. Scythen will become the one."
That's really weird.
As you walk back home, it's this little slice that's still left.
Oh my god, that's weird. Continue, sorry.
As you walk through the front door and your mum and dad are sitting at the table, they don't actually hear you come in, and there is a moment where they're like, you actually hear, as you kind of open the door and you haven't closed it yet, you step in and you hear them kind of say, "We should just tell her. Let's just say exactly what's happening." And your mum goes, "No, we can't. She's just learned to let go of him. We have to keep this between us. Besides, we cannot run the risk that Scythen finds out anything." As you're kind of like standing there, like a gust of wind blows the door shut and slams, and they're like, "Oh, Crayola? Is that you?"
Yes, I just got in.
Oh. And you see your mum, a lot older at this point, as she kind of turns around and she's like, "Oh, my dear.
How was your day, mother?
Oh, you know, there's not much in the form of herbal medicines anymore.
No.
Everything's regulated. We know this."
Town's getting worse.
Yes, and
People are coughing in the street, Mum.
yeah, lots of disease
It's not good.
are starting to riddle our streets. On that note, your father and I, well, your father's business here in town, making the shoes, we fear that the shop doesn't have much longer left.
Oh.
Business is slow, as you know,
Oh.
with regulations and taxes.
True, of course.
So we thought of maybe taking a journey down to Baldur's Gate,
Okay.
just for a couple of weeks, to kind of.
Do you want me to stay home and man the fort?
Yes, absolutely.
Can do, mother.
We should only be gone for a few weeks, maybe
That's
a month,
okay.
but it won't be much longer, I promise.
Okay. I'll be here when you return.
Excellent.
Will you be leaving in the morning?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, we will be leaving in the morning. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. Just had a big day. That's all.
Hello. Where do you go every day?
Oh, you know what? I go off into town and I just hang about with my friends and kind of run amok as you do. And just live my days out the best I can, Mum.
Yes, well, you know your father and I love you very much, right?
Of course. And I love you both more than ever. We're family.
Your brother would have loved this.
I know.
As your dad's like, she goes, yes,
Hi, Dad.
hello.
How's your day been?
like your mother said, slow.
Yeah, my day's been slow too.
But there is a promise in Baldur's Gate.
Okay, that's good. I had your mother told me you're going to Baldur's Gate.
We'll be finding out a storefront and trying to get a secure business with some little money that we have.
That'll be good.
Business would be more promising.
Sounds fair. Gotta do what you gotta do, right?
Absolutely. Right. You see your mother like, yes. Right. Look after yourself.
Of course. I'll be here holding down the fort.
Amazing. So they go up to their room, they go to bed, you go to bed. Next morning arises.
Are they there when I wake up? Or no?
Yes.
Okay.
They're actually getting their cart ready as they wake you up when they leave and they go, Crayola, you must promise me one thing.
Okay.
If he does anything, or if he becomes elected, you know exactly what will happen, right?
Yeah, I'm painfully aware.
Never tell your father I told you this, but if he becomes elected, just run.
Where?
Just run.
Okay.
Get as far away from this town as you possibly can.
Okay, Mum.
As you see, she gets really teary and she goes, I know that may mean that I will never see you again, but
We'll see again each other one day. We have to.
we'll be back before he's elected.
I hope so.
But I just need you to know that if he was to become elected, I just need you to go. Don't stop home. Don't say goodbye. Just go.
Okay.
I will know in my heart you are safe.
Okay. I wrap my arms around her and say one last goodbye.
She kind of sobs a little bit. And there's something in her eyes, and it's only a very slight glint, where you actually see this almost seems like she knows this is going to be the last time that she sees you.
At least for a while.
And your dad is quite literally sitting on the car like this, and he's not even, he goes, I love you, Viola.
I love you, Dad. Safe travels.
And your mom is like, you do see something in her eyes where it's like she knows something more than she's telling you. And she knows this is going to be goodbye, even though she's masking it as it's not. You see the cart kind of go off in the distance as your mum looks back at you one last time, and she kind of gives you a wave goodbye as the cart passes over a ridge and around a corner. And you're kind of the first time standing at home. This is the first time you've really been alone at home.
Normally Mordai would be here.
Or your parents.
I've never been home alone. It feels empty.
It does feel empty.
It feels deserted. It feels cold. And cold not in the way that winter time brings, but cold in the way that something's missing.
What do you do?
I try and distract my mind by dusting shelves or doing the dishes or just chores around the house, reorganizing things.
Excellent. So as you are doing some chores around the house and dusting and stuff, you actually start dusting the banister, and you notice that your brother's room, the door is cracked open, and your brother's room is never, it hasn't been opened since.
So it hasn't been open in what? If I'm 31 and he died when I was 10, it's been 11 years. Oh, 21 years?
Yeah.
Is that the math?
They've
21
never
years.
opened the door.
In 21 years. That's crazy. That's crazy. The door hasn't been open for 21 years. I'm surprised it's open. So I see the door. Well, I see the door. I was expecting that. I see the door cracked open, and I go, That's never open. Why is that open? I take a peek inside. I open the door further.
You push the kind of door open a little bit to have a look, and you look around, and there is a singular piece of paper on your brother's desk.
Okay.
That you can see footprints leading up to the desk. And
Like in the dust on the floor?
yeah. And you can see that there is a singular piece of paper on your brother's desk. And as you go over to it?
Yeah.
As you go over to it, it reads...
Following the exact footsteps, because let's not make any more of a mess in here.
It actually reads... Mordai. Please forgive me. I didn't know that they were going to hurt you that way. I will always blame myself for your death. The information I gave up, I thought was harmless. But it turns out it was tragic. Thank you for being such a close friend. I will spend my life trying to become a better man. There's no name. There's nothing signed. It just says H. H.
As I was reading it, a tear, just a singular one, forms and falls onto the paper.
It just soaks into the paper and it distorts some of the ink on the paper as well to make it look a little bit blurry. It's the first time that you have had any sort of...
First time I thought of him in like 10 years.
Yep, it's also some of the first moments. It's one of the only pieces of evidence that really you've ever seen to do with it. You've never you were never allowed in this room. You never knew why. You never knew why your parents would never let you in this room. They actually locked it. So for the room to be unlocked and open was very weird. But what you do notice in the footprints is it's your mother's footprints.
Oh. I just put the paper back down. I wipe the rest of the tears away.
As you kind of look up, your brother has a bookshelf, and you notice that there's a very common theme on the books. They're all to do with Baldur's Gate. There's maps on Baldur's Gate, there's books on the history, there's what shops are available, there's everything that you could ever know about Baldur's Gate. It's just something you notice as you kind of scan the bookshelf. There's very much a common theme, and you'll only pick it up because your parents have just recently said that they're going there.
Huh, Baldur's Gate.
And there's one space,
That's
one
where-
book that's missing.
That's where Mum and Dad are going. Is this a missing book?
And you do notice that clearly it was there for the 21 years.
There's like dust in front of like all the other books, but then there's this like track mark in front of this one that's now taken.
You can see that this was clearly there, but has now recently been taken.
Wonder where that book's gotten to. I leave the room as it is and I try and walk out without leaving any extra footprints. And I close the door behind me.
As you turn around for one last close, there's a memory that flashes before your eyes of you when you were like quite a young girl, younger than 10, running in to like shake your brother awake, and like you jumping on his bed and you're like, Mordai, wake up, and he's like, Ryla.
Get off me!
And just the happy memory that this house once held, and the happiness that you always felt around your brother. And as you kind of close the door a little bit more, the memory starts to fade away, and you can hear your brother and your laughter as you're kind of walking back down the stairs. And as you're walking around the house, back downstairs and out the front door, you're actually seeing parts of the house. It's like memories of like you and your brother like running down the hall, chasing each other. Like there's a moment where like you've got something on the stairs and you're like sliding down the stairs together, and he's like laughing, and he's like grabbed you by the arms, he's spinning you around in the kitchen, and your mum and your dad are all sitting there laughing. There's a moment where you look at the dining table and you're all standing or sitting around having a huge conversation, laughing, throwing food at each other, and just having like a really good time. And as you kind of walk outside and look back at the house, you notice that it's quite a different feeling now. The town itself is just a genuine different feeling. You can feel something on the air. Your life has been twisted and twined to this path that you feel like you're now starting to step onto. And you feel like something is coming, and there is a storm that's starting to brew. You can't quite put your finger on what it is at the moment, and it feels like there's something not quite right. As you start to make your way down the street to do your daily go outside practice, you're walking down the street, you're actually hearing some people start to sob, and they go, the Lord really doesn't have a lot of time. Time is up. What are we going to do? And then you'll hear someone go, he'll never get elected, it's fine. And you go, don't be so sure of that. So that, like, these are the two people having a conversation, and the other one goes, don't be so sure of that. He has a lot of influence with the rich. And as you kind of walk around a corner, you, for the first time, have noticed that the rich district of Neverwinter is like gated
Waterdeep.
off. Oh yeah, Waterdeep. The rich district of Waterdeep is like fully gated community, and there is a very clear divide between the rich and the poor. The rich, there's like sun shining on their lawns are all nice and green, the trees are trimmed, like there are people like laughing on the other side of the gates, and then on your side of the gates,
Like clear.
It's like dark and smog filled, and like people are coughing and like dirty, and houses are falling apart. And you can see something that you kind of get a flashback to when you were a kid, and you almost get that feeling of like the dragonborn, that Therona that hurt you, standing over you while you're covered in mud and dirt, just laughing at you. And you've never once felt like you actually are like helpless almost. You've never once felt like that. But there is a moment here where you're now truly alone for the first time in years. Something has not felt quite right, and you do actually feel like someone needs to do something, but you just don't know how to do it.
I also don't feel like I have the power to at this stage.
As the weeks go by, and as the weeks progress, at some point over those couple of weeks, your family, your mother and father, are due to come home. So you get yourself kind of ready.
The house is all tidy. Everything's back in proper order, ready and pristine for them to return.
And you wait for the day. A day without training for the first time in years. As the day turns into night, though, you get a very sinking suspicion that they won't be returning home. As that day turns into multiple days, which turns into weeks, which turns into months, the panic and the fear that something may have happened kind of starts to build. But that panic and fear is completely derailed on the day of election day, when the bells chime and the speakers line the streets to announce the new Lord of Waterdeep, Lord Scythen Gondra, to replace Lord Defiance after his untimely death and the death of his entire heritage and bloodline. From an unknown disease that swept through the royal family, killing off one by one, leaving the Lord by himself to die alone. The advisor has now become the Lord, and the speakers speak with glee as they announce that Scythen will be bringing in the age of prosperity for Waterdeep, and he will be fixing what so many people long to be fixed. You see some of the very few people in town that still respect you or still notice you, as they kind of say to you, he's elected, you need to go.
Where do I go?
You have a woman who steps forward and she goes, just go north. You can go to Neverwinter, but I would go to a small town first.
Okay.
Phandalin is your best option. It's halfway.
Okay. Goodbye.
As the memory fades to black and your eyes start to flitter open as the ground that was rushing towards your head starts rushing even faster at you, and you look over as these massive winged eagle bird things are like flying directly at you as you look up. And that is where we're going to leave it. We'll see you next week. That's all.